Chord here, teaming up with the US Power Metal Connection to bring you a brand new video lesson series called The Fundamentals of Power Metal. These lessons are aimed at beginners, and they're designed to give you the tools and techniques needed to play music in a power metal band. So this is our first episode, and what we're going to cover here is basic lead line and a very important rhythm technique called palm muting. So let's get started. It can be divided up into just two separate parts. The first part's got a very basic rhythm part with a basic lead melody over it, and the second part's got more of a hammering rhythm sort of style of playing. So first we're going to tackle the rhythm, and then we'll show you the lead. Keep in mind I am tuned to E flat, which is a much more standard tuning in power metal than E standard or even other tunings. More often bands are tuned to E flat than anything else. So that's the tuning I'll be using for this video lesson series. Alright, so the first chord is going to be here at the 5th fret, which would be an A5. You're going to give each chord 8 counts. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to move this power chord down to the 1st fret, and you're going to play the same thing, 8 counts. 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to move up to a G5 here at the 3rd fret, also 8 counts. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 4th and final chord is here. It's a D5. It is located on the 5th string just underneath the beginning A5 power chord. And that's played a total of twice, and that's the first rhythm part. It's pretty simple. What you want to make sure is that you don't change the chords too early or too late. Make sure you give each one a full 8 counts. Okay, I'm going to give you a better shot of the fretboard for the lead line. The lead line's pretty simple. It's got a whole note followed by a simple 4-note quarter note melody, and that quarter note melody repeats every single time. It's just the whole note is different each time. So the first one you're going to play is at the 7th fret of the D string. I'm going to play that with your first finger. You're going to give that 4 counts. It's a whole note. I'm going to do everything here unmetered. Just try to follow along. But just so you know, it's 4 counts. Then the melody that follows that is 7, 10, 9, 7. And everything in this melody is on the D string, so you don't have to do anything complicated, changing strings, or anything like that. It's just a simple sliding up and down the neck. So after you play that, you're going to come down to the 3rd fret, still on that same string with your first finger. You're going to give this note 4 counts. After those 4 counts, you're going to come up here. You're going to play that same 4-note melody. Then you're going to come to the 5th fret. And again, you're going to give the same 4-note melody. This time it's going to change a little bit. You're going to slide up to the 12th fret. Then play 12, 10, 9, skip down to 5, and then it's going to start over. So that last bit is 12, 12, 10, 9, 5. So here it is all together. You would play that 2 times in a row. Okay, the second half I would think is a little bit harder. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this down into its component parts. And this is a great way for you to learn how to play any riff that is giving you some trouble. You just strip it down, you start with the basics, and then you move from there. So the first thing we're going to look at is the chords that are involved. And we're going to look at the chord progression so you know generally what area of the fretboard your hand needs to be in. So the first chord is an A5, which is here, open on the 5th string, 2 on the 4th string, 2 on the 3rd string. It's actually the same exact chord as this one that started off the rhythm part of the last section. We're going to play it here instead. You're going to give it 2 full measures, which is 8 counts total. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next chord would be a C5, 3rd fret 5th string, 5th fret 4th string, 5th fret 3rd string. This is 4 counts, and then you're going to move up to a G5, which is 4 counts. Then go back to the A5 for 8 total counts. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go to the C5 just like before. This time, instead of going up to the G, you're just going to slide the shape up 2 frets. And play a D5. So all together that looks like this. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, ready, repeat. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. C5, D5. And then it'll end on an A5 at the end. Okay? So that's the chords, just where the left hand is supposed to be at any given point. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the right hand picking. So now we're going to give you a better angle of the picking hand. Let me finagle here a little bit so you can see this. So that's what we're going to do. The picking pattern for the majority of the riff is you're going to play a chord and let it ring out. And then you're going to play the lowest sounding note of the chord 3 times as a palm mute. 1, 2, 3. So the pattern looks like this. Chord, 1, 2, 3. Chord, 1, 2, 3. So you speed it up, it sounds like this. Okay, now a word about palm muting. You're going to rest the palm of your hand, the part you do a karate chop with. You're going to rest that right where the strings come off the saddles on your bridge. For each guitar it's a little different, but there's a sweet spot where it really sounds thick and heavy. If you're too far onto the strings, you dampen them too much, and it sounds pretty crappy. If you're not on the strings enough, like you're too far back on the bridge, the notes ring out too much. So you need to find that spot where it dampens it enough that you get that nice, thick, punchy sound without completely choking the notes off. So you see I just kind of lay my hand across the bridge, bring my pick up to the string, and that's how you palm mute effectively. A word of advice if you've got a floating bridge, such as this is a Schaller Floyd Rose bridge. I don't have my whammy bar attached, but you can use it to change the pitch of a note. Whatever. You want to do the wacky whammy bar stuff. You don't want to lean on that. If you've got one on your guitar, you don't want to lean on it too hard, because then this happens. As you're playing, you go, why do I sound out of tune? This is horrible. My guitar sucks. No, you just got to not lean on that bridge, and you'll be good. Even if you got a fixed bridge, you don't want to lean on it, because you can kind of cause the same problem if you press hard enough against the strings. You could still bend them out of tune. And also, you don't want to be like so tense that you can't move, that you're locked onto the face of your guitar, because it's not good for your technique either. So you want to be relaxed. You're literally just touching the strings. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play through those chords utilizing this picking pattern, and we still got one more element to add in. So this is the next step. I guess you could say this would be medium difficulty. See, I'm playing the chords that I showed you earlier, and I'm just moving them through that picking pattern. Now we move to C5, then G5, go back to A5, then we go back to C5, and D5. So we've got 2 out of the 3 elements. We've got the chords, we've got the picking pattern, but there's a little bit more to this riff than that, as there's some melodic connecting lines that connect the different chords together. So this is what we're going to do, is we're going to play through our picking pattern up to the first line. Now instead of playing the 3 open palm muted notes here at the end, we're going to play 0, 2, 3, all on the A string. 0, 2, 3, or A, B, C, if you want to know what notes those are. How's my train of thought? Oh, I play that with my first finger. All 3 notes, well, one of them's open, but then the other 2 fretted ones I play with my first finger, so you could just lock in for that power chord. Sometimes you'll see me play my power chord with a pinky. It really doesn't matter. You play the 2-note version, the 3-note version, the pinky. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. Alright, so up to the first chord change. Now here, again, we're going to replace those last 3 palm muted notes. We're just going to reverse the first idea. We're going to do 3, 2, 0. And we're going to come into a G5 power chord. So it looks like this. All together up to that point. And the last one, after we get to the G5, is all on the 6th string, 0, 1, 3, and then we start over on the A5. So it sounds like that. So all the way through. And then you would play that twice. And at the end of the excuse me, at the end of the second repetition, we're going to skip the G5. We're going to come up to a D5, and we got a slightly different ending there. So this is what it sounds like all together. Now instead of going to G, I'm going to come up to D. And the melodic idea there is just taking some power chords down through the scale. Which the whole thing's in the key of A minor, which I failed to mention earlier. But it's an A minor tuned down a half step. So technically it's A flat minor. We can just say A minor so we don't confuse ourselves. So let's play that last half. Sorry, I played the whole thing instead of just the last half. So when we play the 3, 2, 0 coming off the C, instead of going to G, we're going to go up to D. Alright, so I'm going to play it once, really slow, and then again at speed. Now at speed. Kind of Man-O-War-ish, if you ask me, that second part. And, you know, that power metal band should be on your to-listen list. So, there it is. So there you have it. That's the end of the first lesson, our first little mini song here in the fundamentals of power metal. So it's a couple important techniques, mostly just basic time keeping. So make sure you practice with a metronome. And you got an important technique there, the palm mute. So that's a very important technique to master early on. It could be tough to get sounding good at first, but it's just nothing, you know, a little bit of practice can So anyway, hope you guys had fun with this lesson. Please feel free to send me any feedback either here at the US Power Metal Connection or at my own website, dansorber.com, where you'll find a couple of my other video series. So the next one's going to be galbing. It's going to be fun. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Talk to you later. Up the iron.